What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. And this is your Saturday episode of Chicago Bulls Central. Hey, have you guys checked out the interview with Stacey King? I know Stacey King's internet was not the best. The audio can be a little bit rough there at the beginning, but nonetheless, make sure you guys check out that article, that interview. It was really good, really fun having Stacey King on the show, and he will be back on the show as well at some point. But nonetheless, what we're here for today on this Saturday episode of Chicago Bulls Central is simple. We had a report coming out, a rumor. You guys saw it. And again, we're going to track it again like we always do about Kobe White being on the trade block. But in the article, the original article, there's also some interesting information on how the injuries did affect the Bulls season. So we're going to get into all that and more on today's Chicago Bulls Central.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
All right, Bulls fans. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for spending your Saturday with me, because you can be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Yeah, that's a little bit corny, but fuck it, I don't give a damn. So anyway, we had a recent report come out, and like with everything, you guys know what I like to do. I like to track things about Kobe White being on the trade block, and so this stemmed from an original article on Heavy.com. And so this one was written by Sean Davini. And so this actually was an in-depth article as far as the Bulls making decisions on their core. And so like with everything, they took the part about Kobe White, which was really a small part in the article. And I'm going to read this directly, right? And the thing is, and even when I saw the little tweet or whatever from Bulls on Tap saying, oh, Kobe's on the trade block, in other words, you had nothing to write about, so you decided to write what we all know. But in this article, I'm going to read the only line that references Kobe White. It says they have guard Kobe White too, who is expected to be on the trading block. That's it. Now you've seen other outlets take that and say, oh, Kobe White's on the trading block. This is why you guys have to track, and I understand there's so much out there. You can't always track everything. And these outlets should have more integrity in the way that they cover these things to say that. But then again, like with most things that have come out this summer, this is just a writer doing a speculative article on something that's kind of obvious that we all expect Kobe White to kind of be traded this offseason. So again, things go left, but like I said, there is some really interesting things in this article, and specifically I want to focus on this, and this is going to be a short episode, guys, but this one was taken by the fact that the Bulls do expect the core to be run back. And then they go on to talk about how the injuries really affected the Bulls season. So there's this website called Man Games Lost. And so it tracks injuries and analytics for 23 NBA teams, 21 NFL teams, 22 NHL teams, and 10 MLB teams. Why only that number? I guess those are probably the teams that make their medicals probably available to them, is what I had to guess. But this team that tracks games lost, right? They track injuries in sports, said that the Bulls lost about 14 wins that they could have had because of injuries, and that was the sixth most in the NBA. So when you look at the Chicago Bulls record of being 46-36, let's say they win 10 out of those expected 14 wins. Let's say they still lose 4 of those. That's a 56-win team. And so when people start talking about AK can't run this back, he has to make a big trade, and you wonder why AK is so, it seems like he's so confident in this core. And I don't know if they even track the COVID as part of that. This website seems to just track injuries. So they're not even really tracking the amount of games players lost to COVID protocols as well. So to say that, and again, no analytics are perfect. That's why I try to let's give it 8 games, right? So they say they were going to win 14 games. Let's even give it half. That's a 53-win team if we cut it down to 7 wins and give them 7 more losses. That's a 53-win team. Now, that still leaves all the play issues that we saw on the court, the ball movement sometimes, the isolation ball, the lack of having rebounding off the bench, specifically offensive rebounding throughout the roster, and then also fact of not having a defender and shot blocker in times where we need one. So that all those things aside, but then when it really paints and puts it in perspective why AK and Eversley in this Bulls front office are so confident in running back this team for the most part. And this article does go on, the original article, back to heavy.com, does go on to say that the starting 5 is almost locked in. And we also got another report coming out that Nikola Vucevic does expect to be a Chicago Bull next season. So with everything happening, right, losing Patrick Williams early in the season, all the games lost to COVID, things like that, the Bulls could have possibly, and I think again, historic collapse aside, we know that in the latter half of the season, just how things collapse, it really does, like I said, put in perspective. And I know a lot of Bulls fans are going to be disappointed if the Bulls don't make a big move this offseason. More than likely, big money is always on improving the bench, probably signing or drafting a big-time shot blocking, rebounding big, or a scorer. Really, either way, they're gonna. I think the Bulls are probably, if I had to guess, they would go more, because I would trust a young big more. I guess you have foul trouble then too. I don't know. The Bulls could go with a young big. They can go with an EJ Liddell, who's just a great bench player, right, and can bring some scoring, and then go for veterans, some more solid, more solid defending big, a more solid scorer and 3-and-D threat, something like that. But the Bulls have a lot of options, and they have internally, it seems like they have a lot of confidence in this team, at least heading into the season. They're going to always improve on the team. AK is going to improve on the team every single season. That's something that I believe. That's something I trust. That's something that he's shown. He's going to improve this team every single offseason in the best way that he can. But that may not come by a big deal like a Rudy Gobert deal that we've heard about before. It may. I'm not saying that I'm completely doubtful that a deal like that may happen. You guys know, go check out my Rudy Gobert video on that, on my thoughts about how he could fit or not fit as far as this team. But with that being said, I really do, just reading this article, and I'll try to link it in the description down below as well, down at heavy.com, and also the Man Games Lost, because this is just, I didn't even know this website existed. Tracking injuries and then seeing how that affects teams' wins total that's just a great resource. It's just interesting. I'm somebody who likes to take in all the information that I can. So having that now and looking at that is just really interesting. I'm probably going to be diving into that over the course of the day, over a lot of sports teams, and just seeing it, because it's a very interesting article. But I did want to point out, like I said, I wanted to do this video Saturday, light work, really point out where this recent Kobe on the trade block thing started from, this article on heavy.com. And people just take things and they run with it. It's off season. Everybody's looking for content. So it kind of is what it is there. But let me know what you guys think down below. What do you think about the Bulls really running this core back? And has that changed your mindset at all as far as hearing how many games that the Bulls possibly lost due to injury? And this is something that we probably all knew, but just seeing that number, seeing that they should have won by these analytics 14 more games if it wasn't for the injuries, that's just a crazy, interesting stat to me. But thank you for tuning in to Chicago Bulls Central on this Saturday episode. Mailbag will probably be moved till Sunday, so just an FYI on that. If you haven't gotten your thoughts in on that one, get those in as well. Make sure you're following the show at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullscentralpod@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text and or voicemail for those mailbag episodes, 773-270-2799. Like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.